Hey, it's your boy Jello, and today it's story time, because sharing is caring. I figured we'd relate more on a personal level if we talked about subjects that made you go, ha, I've totally been there, such relatable stuff you speak of. For anime fans at least. Not so much for non-anime fans, but then again, why do you watch my videos? I'm kidding, I still love you. So I'm pretty much a failure of an anime fan, but that's a series of videos for another time. But today, I just wanted to share my experience on my first time in an anime convention. Ooh, fun. So I was a little 14-year-old Jello back then, who was already knee-deep in shows that you shouldn't be watching at that age. Doors locked, if you know what I'm saying. Then one day, I was sitting in class, don't know what I was doing, it was in science class, I guess I was playing with some Bunsen burners, when my friend Alex, yeah, he said I can use his real name, decided to ask me, and I'm paraphrasing here, this was 6 years ago, so obviously I'm not going to remember this word for word, but anyway, he said, "Hey dude, you're a massive otaku and such, right? You ever gone to an anime convention?" He's got a pretty deep voice. I'm trying my best here. Now mind you, we barely talked about anime, because in fact, the only anime that he's seen at that time, I think, were Gungrave and Naruto. This dude who only watched 1-2 shows had already been to 3 anime conventions, while my ass was just sitting there watching countless series. But anyway, me at the time, who never went outside of town, just said no. Yeah, I just said no. What, you think I'd lie just to make myself look like an elitist? Who do you think I am? To be honest, I didn't even know what an anime convention was at the time. Was there a place where they provided free poke or sushi to everyone? I don't know, in my head the possibilities were endless. So I asked him what an anime convention was, and he explained to me that it was a place where these anime nerds come together and cosplay, or just go to these conventions and hang out in an anime themed hall of sorts. Yeah, his explanation didn't really tell me much, but he had me at cosplays. My prepubescent mind imagined super hot girls dressed up as Tularu characters. So of course I decided to go. He asked me if I wanted to cosplay, but I kindly refused. I don't think I can pull off cosplays. But Alex, for some reason, was very adamant as me dressing up as Kisame from Naruto. I still have no idea why he wanted me to dress up as a humanoid shark psycho. But hey, that's just Alex. So after a month we set off to the event, which was luckily pretty close. I mean, we had to take a bus, but at least it wasn't a train. I'm not a fan of public transport, but because of Alex, I'm probably not a fan of buses either. But that's a story for another day, you twat. But moving on to the story, we made it to the event, and let me tell you, my expectations were very high at the time. I was expecting some world-class cosplayers, as well as those voice actors from my favourite anime series. But what did I get? Let's just say it didn't reach my expectations. But hey, that wasn't their fault in any way. It was my expectations that were unreasonably high, due to my overexcited teenage brain. But let me give you a bit of a geography lesson. So we don't really have a lot of anime conventions here in England, and the most likely places to get these conventions are London, our capital, and Birmingham, the second biggest city in England, as well as maybe 1 or 2 other major cities. I'm from a town. It's surprising enough that we got a convention, so it wasn't a surprise that instead of a hot world-class cosplay, we got an old lady dressed up as Green Ivy, boobs flopping about. Oh, was that too graphic? Well, I did say sharing is caring. So back to the event, after waiting in a 20-minute queue and paying a £5 ticket to a very hyperactive ticket guy for some reason, we finally made it into the convention, and it was at that time I thought, maybe my expectations were a bit too high here. Now, I'm not saying I hated it. I didn't hate it. I kind of liked it. They had DVDs and mangas that I probably could have bought cheaper online. The cosplays were decent, but they were more Western comic cosplays instead of anime cosplays, and some of the people kind of scared me. And it didn't help that at one point Alex said loudly, "Hey, that's an ugly Wonder Woman." The guy, I don't know why, but he never whispers. I don't know if she heard it, but I pretended I didn't know him and just walked off. Hey, I didn't ditch my good friend, okay? It was a strategic retreat. But that wasn't the only weird thing. Like, I remember this one guy who was holding a giant board that said L didn't die. His eyes were bloodshot, he was sweating a bit, and he was breathing quite heavily. He kept yelling stuff I don't remember, but it was at that time I thought I should never get into an anime series that much. But apart from the low-key trauma and learning life lessons, I think it was a pretty good day. So after a few hours my legs started aching because I can't really walk too much. Yeah, I'm not built for long-term walking. So yeah, I decided to take the taxi home. Luckily the taxi driver was also an anime fan, so I had a good talk with him on my way back. So that was my first and last time I visited an anime convention. Don't know if I'll go to another one, but from my experience I probably won't. But I might if I get dragged along, I guess. But anyway, I hope this story didn't bore you too much. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want it, and see ya. Oh yeah, I forgot. Because the pocky or even the food was so expensive, I didn't even buy any of that.